First though, my next guest lived an idyllic life with her husband, had a successful career as a city trader, but in just 4 years, Helen McNallen developed a £2,000 a day shopping addiction which drove her to the brink of suicide and all but destroyed her marriage. She joins me now. Very brave of you to come on here and talk about this. It really is, because you were struggling. I mean, you had this really high-powered job in the city, only women, you know, surrounded by blokes. It's all crazy and mad. We've all seen the movies when it's like that. And you had this very, very demanding job, but you weren't well. And I don't know how you managed to cope with that.
I did feel very weak, and I couldn't admit. I didn't actually know what depression was, to be honest. I knew there was something wrong. My husband knew there was something seriously wrong because I was becoming very withdrawn. I would come home from work on a Friday night, go to bed, and not get up again until 4 o'clock on Monday morning when I had to drive back to the city. But I couldn't admit in front of all my work colleagues that there was something wrong. But eventually I had a breakdown and ended up in hospital and was diagnosed with clinical depression. And I actually checked myself out of hospital and went back to work because I didn't want the people at work knowing that I was ill. Yeah. But then I had to give up work.
Because there's still that sense of, and there shouldn't be, but there's still that sense of shame that you've got something wrong. You know,
absolutely.
It's your mind that's broken instead of your arm or your leg, and people don't react to it very well. But you kind of sort of dealt with it in a way by just splurging. You know, that came, I mean, the illness was first, then the splurging, wasn't it? You would just buy. How did you feel like when you were buying all these clothes and stuff and shoes and everything else?
Well, when I was clinically depressed, my gap was filled with eating, and I put on 4 stone, which Marissa Peer helped me lose the weight. But then none of the antidepressants worked for me, and the hospital suggested ECT as a last resort because I was on suicide watch, very, very seriously ill.
This is electric shock therapy.
Electric shock therapy, 13 sessions of that. And then after that, and another episode in hospital and being sectioned, it turned into bipolar depression. I was diagnosed with bipolar depression, and that's when the spending started. So it was the illness first, then the eating, and then when I became bipolar, that's your manic, and everything was in excess, so I started exercising in excess, shopping in excess, everything to fill. I felt so empty, helpless, useless, guilty, and I didn't feel worthy of anything. I just had to... I don't know why I did it. Now I feel sick by all this stuff. It hurt so many people. It hurt my husband, hurt my friends, hurt my family. But when I was buying it,
didn't you?
I was on a high, so it was kind of it was a complete high. I mean, what woman, if it's not a problem, doesn't like going out and buying 4 pairs of shoes? Sure. On that level, it's nice, but that is serious illness.
Of course it is. And it was, and you spent an absolute fortune, had to remortgage the house. You moved back, you and your husband moved up to Scotland, that's where he's from. You moved back up there just to try and get away from it, start a new life.
Absolutely.
And I know your relationship, you're really good friends, he's been really good to you, but you're no longer together?
No, he became... he had to become my carer, which a lot of people are in that position. They by default, I mean, they're not trained carers, but because they love you and there's nobody else, they have to become your full-time carer. So he was in carer role and I was in patient role. And we couldn't move beyond that. So we're still friends.
Still friends, though, which is good because I'm sure you need them. You're sitting there looking beautiful, sounding...
That's the makeup artist.
Very lucid, very together. How did you get to where you are now, though?
I actually can't believe... my psychiatrist was saying to me recently, I'm proof that the illness is treatable. Lots of people, I guess, because you can't see it, don't know that they're ill even, or that it's an illness, and... if they're feeling, all the symptoms of withdrawn and nothing that gives them pleasure anymore that used to, please go and see your doctor because there is help out there. And sometimes it's a long process, sometimes it's a short process, but there are lots of CBT, psychotherapy, drugs, hypnotherapy. That really helped me. Every treatment's different, people respond differently, and it has to be at the right time for somebody as well.
But don't kind of sit and suffer there, or do what you did, which is try and sort of ignore it and keep going because you don't want to face up to it.
Absolutely. I mean, you say I'm lucid now, but when I was so down, I felt so stupid. I didn't think I could hold a conversation. I used to write everything down and call my friends when I knew they weren't there and leave a message on their answering machines so that they couldn't interrupt my conversation and put me off because I felt so lacking in everything. It's taken a long time, and I've had a lot of great help, but I know a lot of people, and I've met a lot of people on the way who don't have access to that help, don't know where to look for it, can't afford it, don't have, so I'm trying in my little way.
You're doing really well, and I know you're
To
going to be,
help them.
at the moment, you're in the process of writing a book. Will you come back when the book is out? Will you come back and talk to us more?
I would love to.
Because it's been absolutely brilliant, and I'd love to talk to you more, but as always on this show, we don't have enough time. Great to see you.
Thank you.
And great to see you looking so well.
And the World National Health Day for Depression is on the 10th of October, and I'm getting involved in that on a local level at the Crossing In workshop, and it's celebrated in 100 countries. So
Right.
there is awareness building.
Fantastic.
Thanks,
Good.
Lorraine.
Thank you very much. See you soon. Come back and see me.
Thank you.
Right, now then.